is Pablo with LSP Data and LSP Leads, focusing on smart roofing lead generation. And on this video, I know this is third video in this series, but I want to focus on explain to you how are we using AI or this LLM models, because obviously every other vendor says that they're using AI, right? So I like to simplify this and break this down for you. And no, we're not using ChatGPT, and no, we're not using Google Gemini. What we are using is something called DeepSeek, right? So DeepSeek reasoning model. Specifically, there's something called Ollama. So Ollama has open source or free models that you can use. So you just need a very powerful computer, which is what we have. And anyways, for you, what is the point of watching this video, right? Even if you're not techie. Well, for me, I want to explain how we're capturing a lot of code violation, a lot of complaints, a lot of permit information, and that sort of thing, and how we're running this reasoning model locally. Again, our data stays with us. We don't send it to anybody, right? And how are we determining if this is a good opportunity for roofing, or even if it's opportunity for HVAC or gutter work or anything else, right? So in the future, we're going to go beyond roofing. And because a lot of you may have construction companies, right? This may give you additional jobs, right? And capture, obviously make more money, right? At the end of the day, you want to make sure that you and your employees are taken care of. So in this case, again, we're capturing a lot of information. Could be complaint, data, code violations, anything you can think of. And we're using that LLM model to simplify it, right? And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So in this case, right, let's say this is a simple example of a potential complaint, right? So in this case, someone's complaining about, neighborhoods getting pretty bad. There's a lot of, overgrown weeds, etc., right? And this is things that we see from the real estate property point of view and our platform, for code violations and, to find off-market property. So that information is really great. And that's where I've been kind of developing this technology, right, for a while. So again, this is all running from our local server. So I don't have to, I save myself money because I'm running this model locally, right? So I don't have to pay OpenAI or Google or any other vendor out there. And the thing here is that we're processing hundreds of thousands, a lot of information, right? This would be very, very expensive. But because we know what we're doing and we can control this, right? We can tune it in how we want. So ultimately it benefits you because we're trying to find you those opportunities. So in this case, we can take something very lengthy like this, right? That would take, and again, this is not too bad. I've seen some longer ones, but it would even take a human a couple of minutes to identify, okay, there's, roofing issues here, right? The roof looks old, right? And leaking, all right? There's broken windows, a couple of things here, right? So what I'm going to show you here is basically a quick example of how we're processing this complaint, and we're turning it into a simplified way of finding out, is this a good opportunity for a roofer? Is this a good opportunity for HVAC, specialist? Is this a good opportunity for a plumber, right? That sort of thing. And right now I have one that's running live, right? And in this case, as you can see, it breaks down things of, is there any opportunity? No, right? So this is going to continue running for a while, but for this example that I just gave you, right? It tells us, is this a contractor opportunity? Yes. What is the primary trade? Roofing. The urgency is high. What is the reasoning, right? The report mentions roof leak, which is high urgency roofing issues, and there's multiple damages, right? Roof, siding, gutters, windows, indicating a high potential ticket size, right? Now, again, we said it's contract opportunity, and this particular one doesn't have a secondary one, right? But if I switch to what we call a production one, right? This is the prompt that I'm using. So in this one, because this is the one that's actually running, not the example I just showed you, this one will have, is this a secondary opportunity as well? And it'll tell us yeah, there's for solid waste removal, right? Or there's this one's landscape maintenance, right? So again, the one I showed you is just an example of how the model works and how it reasons, quote unquote, versus this one is a full-blown, the one that we're using, right? And it has a long prompt. If you've been using ChatGPT or anything else like that, you realize that the prompt is really important, right? But in this case, we're saying, hey, you are an expert in analyzing this type of complaint or code violation, right? I want you to focus on these contractor opportunities. And if you do flag them, right, we're focusing primarily on roofing. But if you find other opportunities that may have to deal with siding, gutters, foundation, demolition, right, those could be really good opportunities for anyone else, right? Like I mentioned in an earlier video, you can have a construction company and offer other services, or maybe you have friends or you have business partners that you can give that job to. And when you're on the site with a homeowner, right, you can always offer other services, and people tend to trust you if you're already doing a good job, right? And if the price point and everything works out for the homeowner, obviously that's a good opportunity for that additional work, right? So again, like I mentioned, we are focusing a lot on that, and in the near future, I want to be able to provide you with those additional upselling opportunities, right, as well. So because a lot of them is roofing and exterior services, a lot of them is roofing and HVAC maintenance, right? And again, it takes a lot of that complex, long walls of text, like I like to call them, and it just gives us a basic reasoning. So if I were to say, why is that, right? In very human terms, the description includes multiple violations, including roof covering issues, that sort of thing, right? In our platform that I've been showing you, I would love to include that information as well. So when the time that you click on a specific property, right, it would be nice to be able to show you, any of that type of opportunity, right? To say, this is a good opportunity in a simple form, summarized way, for you to know that, hey, you know what, this is a really good opportunity because a tree just fell on top of the roof, that kind of scenario. But anyways, I wanted to show you that because again, when people talk about AI, right, everyone's sort of referring to ChatGPT and Gemini, etc., which is great. But when you're running a data service, right, and again, we're trying to be very niche, trying to be very careful with what we put out there, and in the sense that I want this information to be very helpful to you, right? Not just sign up for our service and we don't provide you any insight, and so that way you can make smarter choices, right, with your money, basically. There are a lot of great use cases for AI, but again, on this particular one, I just wanted to show you that because I've been kind of showing you this particular AI prediction bit, right? This is another topic that I also touch on, but the primary thing is now we're using those reasoning models to highlight additional opportunities, and also so that way we don't miss out on those long walls of text. Potentially they may say, hey, there was a recent thunderstorm, hey, there was a recent hurricane. Like, we want to capture that knowledge as well, and it's going to help you better land some deals, right? And just wanted to quickly make that video. Again, if you haven't seen, this is a sneak peek into our platform, which should be coming soon. But if you have any questions, I'm gonna leave a video description below if you want to jump on a quick Zoom session. We are trying to expand in Florida and Texas and a couple of eventually nationwide. But we love to hear your feedback at the moment. And I will just leave it at that. Again, if you're super techie, there are Olama models out there. This is the website, Olama. And if you have a decent computer or a decent graphics card, a GPU, a lot of these models you can run locally for testing, but that's if you're interested and you're fairly techie. Again, thank you for watching. The point of our service is to be able to provide you 3 to 5 weekly leads, right? And again, as I'm gonna bore you with this, we don't generate leads. We identify homeowners who already need roof repair, right? So thank you again.